Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding guest with us this morning. If you haven't met them, you probably will meet them at voting time in Lake County, which will take place in 2020, right? We have with us Robin OConnor, Lake County Clerk, and Todd Govain, Deputy Clerk. So we have the top two people from the County Clerk's office to talk with us this morning. Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
You know, Lake County is approximately, 750 to 800,000 people, but I don't know how many up this Sunday morning listening to the program, but I understand we have a pretty good audience. Ladies and gentlemen, these are two people that you should know. So I'm going to start off with Robin. Robin, I want you to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Absolutely. I'm Robin, and Robin OConnor, your Lake County Clerk. And I use that word, your Lake County Clerk, because we work for the people of Lake County. Our boss is you. So my background has always been of service. I believe I have been doing service for people for many years. I am a longtime educator for over 30 years and have worked in Lake County for most of my education, most of my years teaching. I've been an administrator, and I've also lived in Lake County for many years, raised my children in Lake County. But my professional background is that I do have a master's in education administration, and I have a specialized degree in education administration. I am just shy of getting my doctorate that I will complete when my dissertation is finished. So I have a long time background in administration and leadership. So when it came to deciding that I wanted to run for this position, I realized that my background and my service and my goal to serve matched this position. So here I am.
Fantastic. Well, Todd, I'm going to give you the same opportunity that I gave Robin. Tell Lake County a little bit about your personal and professional background. You don't have to tell it all now. We may have a part 2, maybe a part 3 later on, but give us a little bit about it.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Again, my name is Todd Govain. I am the Chief Deputy for Robin OConnor, Lake County Clerk. I am originally from Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Oh.
I attended Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri. And I moved to Lake County in the early 90s. As of September 11th, I just celebrated my 24-year anniversary working in the county clerk's office.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. When I started in the Vital Records Department and subsequently went to help in the Elections Department. I assisted in the Tax Extension Department and then became the director of the Voter Registration Department within the office. Most recently, I was, once Robin was elected, I was promoted to Director of Elections, and more recent than that, I am now her chief deputy. So it's been a pleasure working with the registered voters and the citizens of Lake County and assisting them in everything from vital records, to elections and the things that they come to our offices for.
Well, how do you contact your constituents? We have a heavy population in Lake County, but how do you keep in contact with them for educational purposes,
Yeah. Well, which is very exciting is that our office is located in the county building, but you can contact us through phone, through mail, through email. We have a Facebook site. We try to be very progressive in our outreach and helping our citizens and directing them and fulfilling their needs that we can do in our office.
Now, Robin, Todd mentioned what goes on in the county clerk's office. You handle records. You got deeds and death and notices, birth, divorce records,
We have a
criminal
lot.
records. Also, you're the clerk for the Lake County Board meetings.
Yes, I am.
Wow,
I know.
wow. Tax redemption and voting power. One we get into one of the major duties is handling voter registration and election judges and so forth. So there may be some constituents out there want to know how to become an election judge.
Oh, becoming an election judge there are certain requirements that you need to have to become an election judge, but
Okay.
the very first step you need to do is contact our office and get your name on a list. You will be contacted back, and all of the preliminary requirements will be reviewed. And in order to be an election judge, you will have to go through training. And Todd, anything else you want to add?
Yes, anyone interested in serving as an election judge must be a registered voter in Lake County. And they also, by statute, they do have to declare a party that they choose to represent as election judge, which goes to us administering fair and accurate elections. So there's a balance in the polling places. So that may be the one thing that most people kind of gripe about when they sign up to be an election judge. But by statute, they do have to declare a political party that they're affiliated with.
How many ways are there can constituents cast a ballot?
During the election cycle, actually, they can vote by mail, which
Okay.
is very popular, and we push that. We will be pushing that again for the presidential, and in person, either in our office or during early voting or on election day. So they have those options.
I'm leaning on voting quite a bit during this session because you have I just mentioned many other things that you do in the office, but I think listening audience now probably will be interested in the voting process. Why is it necessary to register to vote?
Well, I think registering to vote and voting is one of the most, we call it the heartbeat of democracy,
Okay.
because your vote counts. And many individuals that I have talked to often will say, well, I'm not sure if I should vote. And my response is, but your vote counts. Every vote counts. We have seen in the office where some elections are won by just a very few votes. And I remind people that every vote is significant in this voting process.
I know in North Chicago recently, a few years ago, there were a tie when I think it was
Yes.
school board election or one. And in case of a tie, what happens?
When there's a tie, and actually we had one this past election,
Okay.
the April election, and it was decided by a coin toss.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. Can you imagine that? I didn't, a coin toss. So
Right.
it is decided by a coin toss.
Right. Another thing, these are some most asked questions that people would want to know. I have my long list of things, but we want to talk about what people are asking. And one, how old do you have to be to register to vote?
In Illinois, 18-year-olds can register and vote. Actually, if a person is 17 years old, as long as they'll be 18 by the upcoming general election, they are allowed to register and vote in the primary. But it's anyone that'll be 18 by the date of the general election on or before that date can register and vote.
Do I need an ID to vote?
You don't need an ID to vote. Your signature is your ID. Illinois does not have the ID requirement unless, obviously, you are registering to vote on election day. Now, there may be certain circumstances that may require you to have to produce an ID on election day or during early voting. if you are challenged by an election judge or you're challenged by another registered voter that says, no, I know this person does not live there. So there are certain circumstances where one would have to produce ID on election day to vote. But if you're registered to vote and you go in, you check in with the election judges, they verify your name and your address, and your signature pretty much is your ID, because they compare your signature on your application that you signed that day against the signature that's on your voter registration record that's on file in our office.
I've been a deputy registrar for many years, and on election day, I would go to, try to get people out to vote, and they'd tell me, well, I'll vote tomorrow, or I'm cooking now, I'll vote later, And there's a myriad of things they tell me. But and you mentioned how important it is to vote, and I think we didn't come out here to talk about the census, but you're concerned about the census at all? How important it is? I guess that's another ball game too. How important census is, and how important voting is. There's a correlation.
Well, I will say the one correlation, and as it relates to the last census, 2010, we were then required, based on census data, to produce all of our election materials in English and in Spanish.
Wow.
And so that
had an impact on us.
That decision was made based on the census data.
Now, why is there's such a low turnout of voting, not only Lake County, but nationwide, I suppose? That's only, I think when President Reagan ran, I think it was only about 26% of registered voters voted. Why is there such a, I don't know,
low turnout?
Low turnout.
Well, my opinion, is the attitude that voters do not necessarily believe that their vote, their individual vote, is important.
Okay.
So I like to think of it this way, that you have your voice, your vote, your choice. In other words, voting is, and what we've repeated before, is the heartbeat of democracy. This is the opportunity where you get to show what you feel and how you would like your government to represent you. Very often, your municipality type the voting are, as compared to the general election, we see a lower turnout. And in reality, voting for your neighborhood school board, for your town or village, is extremely significant, because the government involved in those entities are directly affecting you. So I really try to impress people that voting in all election is very important. Many people do vote in the general for president and for United States Senate and those type of elections, which of course are very important. But it is also crucial that you vote in the elections that are going to basically affect your day-to-day living. So I encourage people to vote for all elections.
It's very important you mention that, because people think of just voting for president.
Yes.
Yes. But the local elections are the most important.
Yes.
That, like you mentioned, that affect you.
Right. Your school board, your townships, different referendums. These are important things that are affecting your day-to-day living. And
we have a representative democracy, right? It's not a complete democracy. We elect representatives to represent us. To make decisions.
On our behalf.
Right.
So you need to, this is the opportunity for you to select the representative that you think best represents you.
Very. Tell us, when you were first elected, I'm sure you walked in a new office, I
did.
But what did you find some changes that you would like to make in the county clerk's office?
As I guess I could say I'm the new kid on the block in that office.
Okay.
And extremely impressed with the staff that works there.
Okay.
They work hard. They're always looking to improve methods. My way of looking at improvements is always staying on top of what's next. I'm a real believer of being proactive instead of reactive. So, in other words, with elections and all of the different type of machinery that we use, technology that we are using, I always want to be the person that can say to my team, what do you think about this? Will this make our service faster, better? How do we feel? And we make team decisions. I value the team highly because most of them have been doing it for a very long time. And if there is a way that we can serve Lake County citizens, Lake County people better, we want to champion that.
And I know visibility is very important also. And I don't think there's a location or event that I've gone to that you're not there.
Oh, thank you.
So that's very important, right? So that people know who you are, and who
and that I
who
represent them.
Uh-huh.
Right. I thank you very much. I try to be at many events, but I also have to tell you that the Lake County Clerk's office is a very busy place. We are very busy and we work very hard. So my goal also is to be a part of a government entity that is working very hard for its people. So you will find me often in the office. But I will say, and Todd and I both agree, that we have an open door policy. And if you are in the county building and you want to meet me or you want to see different parts of it, you are welcome to go ahead and come and visit us.
And citizens may be surprised to find out to the many different departments that you have, the many things that you get involved in. And I mentioned some, and you may want to lean on them, to birth, people, death certificates. Just you want to just talk about something.
Right. Well, vital records is birth, marriage, civil union, and death. And that is our vital department. And then we also have public filings for tax and real estate services. And as you know, we already stated that that I am also and the clerk for the county board meetings. But our election department is very diverse, very progressive. And we have approximately about, what Todd, 39 employees?
Wow.
37, 38 employees. I mean, we are a large office working for you. And here's the other thing that I think is very fascinating. We, as an office, are cross-trained, which means everyone in our office can do all of the jobs. Because during election time, we're extremely busy with our task. And so all of our employees in Vital Records can help us there. And we, in turn, as you all know, there are certain seasons that marriage and civil unions are very popular.
Okay.
So our individuals who are able to work with elections can also help us in Vital Records. So the beauty of our office is that we are cross-trained and we truly work as a team.
Todd,
team clerk.
Yeah, Todd has been, 24 years you mentioned?
24
Yes,
years.
yes.
24 years.
He is an expert.
Todd, what are some of the challenging experiences that you can think of you've had?
Wow. It's been a lot. I think the most important thing we try and convey as anywhere, a lot of people think that, what we're guided by are things that we make up. But the clerk's office, actually everything is statutory, from who can access these records, birth records, death records, marriage records, and then to flip over to the election side, the deadlines, when this can occur, why this can occur. So everything is statutory. So that's one of the challenges that everybody faces because, people will call and say, why is this? Why is that? Why don't we have to show ID on election day? They have very valid questions. However, we tell them to, we understand. But however, we can't change those rules. Reach out to your representatives, which is why it's important to vote. Reach out to your representatives and for if you want to see that result change. But I think that's one of the most challenging things working with the public is why is this or why is that? And again, a lot of times they think that we create the rules or we make these rules up, and we're just governed by statute.
Mm-hmm. And Robin, I mentioned at the top of the program that you keep the official records of Lake County.
Yes.
Right? And you record keeper, secretary, or whatever you want to call it, for the Lake County Board.
Yes.
And you are responsible to the Lake County Board, too, because you have your budget depends on the Lake County Board approved it, right?
Definitely. I mean, everything is very systematic, whether it's budget. We go through a huge procedure and everything. For example, when you are looking at our budget goes through different phases where we have a budget analyst that we look over what we need, and it goes through different steps. It's not a right, Todd? You wouldn't call it a one-day event. It is a process, and we are carefully grouped together so that everything is aligned. Yeah, it's an amazing system, and we work with a lot of experts.
Now, you like you mentioned, you're a new kid on the block.
I am.
But what are some of the challenges and experiences you face since you walked into that office?
Well, I would say that my learning curve continues to grow each day.
Okay.
Because like Todd was stating, there are many avenues that it's not that you have to just learn them. It's you have to know where to retrieve correct information.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to meet all of the citizens, and answer questions and their needs. And like Todd has stated, is that many of the questions that we receive, we can't change. We'll get a question, we would like you to do this. And unfortunately, that's the person's opinion that they would like us to change that. But we can't change that because we are really facilitators. We are the people who are carrying out the laws of elections and vital records and tax. So the clerk's office manages quite a bit of information and meets all citizens, and we try to help them direct them. I guess that's a better word. We like to direct them to where their needs can be met.
Mm-hmm. And I notice the media is one way that you can reach out to the people in Lake County too, because Lake County they have their own media.
Yes.
And they give each department head a chance to be guests on their show. Now, we have community focus and community forum and so forth, but they have not only market their meetings on TV.
Yes, they do.
But they do have department heads individually they talk to about what goes on within their office, right?
Well, I believe that media, in today's world, is very important. That's how the general public is getting information. Where technology is becoming increasingly more advanced. So you're talking Facebook, you're talking about the internet, you're talking about our website. Okay. All of these things are very important because the general public, that's where they go. But again, we also want to stress that in our office that when you call, which I know Todd and I are very proud of, you will get a human voice. Okay. You will get somebody who's going to answer the phone quickly and courteous, polite, and give you an answer.
I notice I've called many times after the election, and Todd is very, very receptive, and he'll give me the link that I can go to get all the information, election results right on the spot and so forth, And I think that's great. I told him I'm going to put him in for a raise.
We do. Yeah, that's cute. We pride ourselves on being prompt and knowledgeable. And remember, we deal with people over the counter. We deal with mail and phone or website. So we want to connect on all forms.
Todd, we've 24 years. We've gone from the pencil and paper to this technology now. But tell us about the technology we use. You can get that information to me so quick. How's that pencil and paper and the technology changed. So,
Oh, with elections? Are you talking about elections?
well, I mean, office.
Office.
Well, a lot has changed, especially since I started working there. But again, as Robin stated earlier, staying on top of modern technology that allow us to be able to get these things more efficiently, where you can call now, we can hit a button and we can see all the information versus maybe 20 years ago we had to go dig in a file folder to file it. We have the ability now with some of our software with our voter registration system, and the systems that we use, where we can hit a button and print a report that will generate a lot of the information one may be looking for. So technology is a big thing, and it's brought us a long way, and it's made such a difference. And with the dissemination of information, for voters or whatever information that they're one may be looking for.
And I would like to just speak about that, just to give the citizens an idea that the Lake Voter Power that we have on our site, this can give you, here's an example of, of what we can give you at a push of a button.
Okay.
You can get a sample, you can get a preview of your sample ballot, you can get location, hours, pictures, map, even driving directions to your early and assigned election day sites. You can see your current elected officials. You can see districts that are serving your address. If you vote by mail, your application request form and tracking, and also information on your ballot style and how to cast in a write-in vote. I mean, all of this information is at a push of a button.
Amazing.
Think about how far we've come.
Right.
And just that alone, that's available. So really, even any question you have can be answered basically by going to our website. But if you want to hear a human voice, you can call us up too.
Just you're always looking for election judges, then, right? How
Yes.
do you become election judge?
Well, we should probably tell you that we're looking for approximately, 2,000 election judges?
Oh, my goodness.
I know. We value our election judges. This year, we have to recertify the ones that have been election judges for us. So we will be having different classes for that direction. Election judges are crucial to elections, and the more we have, the more people that we have involved, the better equipped we can equip our sites. So, Todd, you want to explain the procedure? I mean, it's contact us. And
and again, the requirements, I think I may have stated earlier, you have to be a registered voter. You do have to declare the party. But we really do need election judges.
They're not the highest paid people in the world.
They are not.
No, you're not.
Counted as civic duty. The election judges are paid. However, we have great election judges here in Lake County. But, we have people that, we have election judges that have served for many years, and they say, oh, sorry, we can't do it anymore.
Right.
We're moving to Florida. Okay. We've retired now. So we're always on the quest to find election judges to serve during early voting and on election day. And actually, a lot of people may not know, but this will go back to vote by mail, because a lot of people, they say, no, I don't want to vote by mail, because for whatever reason, they sometimes think that we just get the ballots back and we just, put them aside. However, we do have election judges that come into our office daily once early voting, vote by mail begins, and they're the ones who, validate signatures if there is a problem, just like on election day. So we are always in need of election judges, just to help facilitate the entire process.
Well, I want to thank both of you for coming in. Our time is just, I don't know why I move so fast, but you have promulgated a lot of information. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Robin OConnor, Lake County Clerk, Todd Govain, Deputy Clerk, and from the Lake County Clerk's Office. And we hope that you benefit from the information they've given us, and we're going to look forward to our television program where they can have more time to elaborate on what goes on in the Lake County Clerk's Office, which is open to everyone, every citizen in Lake County. This has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.